What is going on, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome back to a brand new locals feature match. Here we are in round 2 for the week, or round 3 rather, my apologies. If you want to see round 2, I'll leave a link to it up in the top right for you guys to check out. But here in round 3, we have Beetroopers, same Beetrooper player that was on in the previous round. My good friend Partho playing against my good friend Adam on the right on the Swordsoul Tenyi deck. For those wondering what specifically which variant it is the Tenyi version. And taking a look at the very early poll results here as I'm doing this recording, about just shy of 100 votes currently, and a large, overwhelming majority of the votes are going to Swordsoul. Just only 13% of you guys, as I'm seeing this just now. I'm sure it'll change as time goes on, by the time the video goes live, but only 13% of the votes going towards Beetrooper. We've seen upsets the past 2 rounds, so let's see if we'll see a third one. So we're going to see Beetrooper win the die roll here and, of course, opt to go first. We're going to see him lead with Sting the Poison, searching out that copy of Pin, I believe. Summoning that to the field alongside Twinbow the Attacker. He'll burn for 200. Then he's going to link for the Inzektor link. On summon, he's going to go ahead and actually trigger, I think, 2 effects here. The Scale Bomber to summon itself, and then the effect of the Inzektor link to discard a Arbalest to go ahead and attempt to equip it with something. An insect from the deck, or another insect you control with another insect from the deck, and it was going to be the Resonance insect, of course. That is going to hit the grave because a Nibiru has been dropped already. And we're going to see him still get to search out Doomdozer, which is pretty good here. We're going to see him banish the Resonance alongside the Arbalest here to go ahead and summon the Doomdozer, and then we're going to see Goki pull trigger here, dumping dumping and then adding the Killer Needle, I believe, and then it gets special summon since it's a normal, so we'll be able to pop the Nibiru. And he's actually just going to be able to keep extending here, going into Armor Horn effect to attempt to gain an additional normal. And I believe he had another Arbalest in hand, which would be a really, really good follow-up here, to keep playing even through Nibiru / well, I guess not Nibiru and Imperm. Just playing through one Nibiru is going to be, I guess, a little too much. But yeah, they're just calculating, I believe, the stats of the token currently. The Swordsoul player probably want to know the stats, make sure he knows how easy it's going to be to get over on the following turn. But yeah, being able to play through Nibiru here very, very early. Not being able to play through the Imperm on top of that, though, however. But we're going to see him make a Link 3. It's going to be the Seraphim. It's going to give itself 2 counters. It'll gain 200 for each, so he can bring back Sting on the opponent's turn as a negate. And a Search, so we'll be able to get follow-up here. And a monster negate, which is pretty strong. So we'll be able to spec that out during the standby phase, I assume, or at his earliest convenience to go ahead and get the body on field as a negate, get the Search of Pin, and we're going to see our Swordsoul player start things off here with a copy of Potted Desires, pretty common card choice within the Tenyi variant of Swordsoul. And we'll, I honestly don't think it's going to be too hard for him to crack the board here. He does have to just play through 1 interruption, but his opponent does have Arbalest and Pin as follow-up, which is pretty strong. And we're going to see our Swordsoul player here start with the Longyun, discarding Blackout to go ahead and special summon itself and give himself a token. Then we're going to see him normal summon the Tenyi. And I imagine he'll be activating the effect here to go ahead and banish to summon a token. And it looks like we're going to see our Beetrooper player here actually chain the Sting the Poison, even though Tenyi does banish for cost. So if he's going to banish the Blackout, he will still get the level 4 token regardless. He just won't get the additional token on top of that. So he's still going to get all the tokens he wants. I mean, maybe there was a reason behind that, but or he maybe just didn't know that Tenyi banished for cost. But I really don't think it's going to matter regardless here. He's going to get access to either Duke or Baron plus Chi still, which is definitely going to out this board. He's going to take the 1200 there from the Longyun as he synchros into Grand Duke, which is being boosted up by quite a bit because of the desires and every banished card on the field. We're going to see him synchro for Chi, activating Tenyi effect. And I don't think we're going to see him activate Chi effect, so we can use the other effect of Chi here to go ahead and banish the Longyun from the graveyard, or banish the Nibiru from the grave, which I don't know if you can banish Nibiru for Longyun, or for Chi. I mean, he has other cards in grave that he can banish anyways. And that's going to trigger Grand Duke or the Supreme Sovereign to go ahead and banish one from field and grave for his opponent. This is very, very close to the game as is, but he's got Protos on top of that to basically lock it out. Yeah, and that is going to be game outright. So yeah, let's go ahead and head into game 2 here. And as these guys get ready to start, I'd like to mention a quick shout out to Imperium Duelist. If you guys are interested in picking up amazing playmats like the one you see here on the right, or amazing binders, deck boxes, sleeves, and more, check them out at the link below. And don't forget to use my discount code WinnerKills10 at checkout to save 10% off your entire order. And if you guys are buying anything on TCG Player, please do not forget to use my affiliate link down in the description below of all my videos. You guys shop and check out using said link. A small bit of the revenue from your purchase will go right back into the channel and helps out a great deal. So, getting back to it here, we're going to see our Beetrooper player start things off here, normal summoning Resonance Insect, and following it up with the Scale Bomber, linking into the good old Armor Horn, and that will successfully resolve here. No Imperm on the Armor Horn. Our Swordsoul player does have Effect Veiler, which is interesting. I probably would have Veilered the Armor Horn 100% for the additional normal. I think that's I personally think it's a good choke point. I don't know if it actually is. I haven't really talked to too many Beetrooper players about that, but I would imagine it's not a terrible spot to go ahead and attempt to interrupt them. But we're going to see him link the 2 Scout Buggies into the Inzector Link. Inzector Link effect, discarding the Beetrooper Fusion spell, the landing, to go ahead and summon, or go ahead and equip the Resonance Insect to the Armor Horn, and then we're going to see him use the Inzector Link's other effect to go ahead and recycle 3. To draw 1, and I think he drew into an Arbalest there, or maybe a Twin Bow. Twin Bow would be pretty clutch at this point to keep extending. We're going to see him link those 2 Link 2s into the copy of the Invincible Atlas, and we're going to see him trigger Resonance Insect effect. And we get to see him search out a level 5 or higher, I believe. So it could probably go for Doom Dozer here. It could probably go for a Sting Lancer or a Light Flapper. We'll see what he's going to go ahead and search out here. Yeah, he's going to go ahead and go for the Doom Dozer, probably just so he can go ahead and summon it, trigger Resonance one more time, and then use the Invincible Atlas to go ahead and tag out the Dozer into a Sting Lancer, and then Sting Lancer search Fly and Sting, I would imagine. So, yeah, that's what we're going to see him do here. We're going to see him banish the Resonance and the Inzector Link to dump Gokipole, and that's going to actually add Retaliating Sea here, which is pretty okay against Swordsoul. I don't know really how he's going to trigger it. I mean, the only spell cards that I think could possibly trigger it would be things like the Sacred Peak. So yeah, I'm not too sure like how much work that card is going to put in here, but we will finally see that Effect Veiler get some value here, stopping the Sting Lancer from searching something like Fly and Sting or, you know, a formation for the following turn. So he's just going to set 1 card and pass turn. And we'll see if our Swordsoul player can break the board here. We're going to see him start with Vishuda. And if he has another Sting Lancer, that's going to be really clutch here to stop the Vishuda. We're going to see him link that into Monk. And he's got another Sting Lancer. That's going to be really, really clutch here. Putting back Vishuda, putting back, I believe, the Gokipole back to the bottom of the deck. And then Sting Lancer effect here to go ahead and search out, I believe, Descent, which is one of the newer pieces of Beetrooper support. I think it involves summoning a token, and then can pop a spell or trap, I believe. So not a terrible card. We're going to see him summon out the Adara, and then we're going to see him banish the Ashina to go ahead and spec out a Vishuda from the deck. And yeah, he could go for a level 8 Synchro play here, so he's going to probably go for Boxy, I would imagine. Or you could go for Draco Berserker, because you do need a way to actually out the Invincible Atlas, because it's currently unable to be targeted or destroyed by card effects. And Draco Berserker is a great way to get over it because of its Battle Phase effect. Now we're going to see him attempt Vishuda again here, since he actually never had the opportunity to use it the first time. But we're going to see him use the droplet that was targeted by the Vishuda, I assume, and it's going to negate and have the Draco Berserker by sending off 1 from hand here, or sending 1 off from the field, the other Sting Lancer. And then we're going to see him just link into Monk, pitching another Vishuda to summon back the Draco Berserker. So playing around droplet there rather easily, just going to go into the battle phase, attack over the Sting Lancer. Berserker is going to gain that attack of the monster it destroyed, and it can attack again. So it'll go up to 54, attacking over Invincible Atlas with ease here. And we're going to see our Swordsoul player set 2 here and pass turn with very, very little follow-up. So if the board gets cracked here, it's going to be pretty hard for our Swordsoul player to make a comeback. So let's see if our Beetrooper player can sort of keep up here and re-establish a board through Berserker in 2 sets. It doesn't seem too impossible, and also knowing your opponent really has little to no follow-up has also got to be a nice thing. We're going to see him normal summon Retaliating Sea, and then spec out the Twin Bow. So he didn't find much value with the Retaliating Sea last turn, but he still could find quite a bit of value with its Graveyard effect, which I think lets him search any insect from his deck with 1500 or less attack, which is pretty strong. So we're going to see him link both the Retaliating and the Twin Bow off for the Insector link. And then we're going to see the Retaliating Sea effect to attempt to go ahead and search. And it looks like that will resolve. Of course, Draco Berserker does have another effect. I believe anytime an opponent's monster activates its effect, you can immediately just go ahead and banish that monster. It's just all about, I guess, in this particular instance, finding the best time to actually go ahead and use that effect. And if he'll even play into that effect, our Beetrooper player, that is. So we're going to see him search out Resonance Insect. And then we're going to see him use the Insector Link effect here to go ahead and recycle 3 to attempt to draw 1. And this might just be bait here to see if he takes it. And it's going to force out an Imperm, though, so that's not terrible. And that Imperm was played in the middle column. I know there's been recently, like, I mean, it happens all the time. Like, there's more Imperm column screw-ups than you think would happen. It's like a very, very easy thing to forget. I'm pretty sure it's happened to pretty much everybody at one point or another, so hopefully they'll remember which column it was activated when it was set. I see some people leaving comments that are like, oh, they activated this card in this Imperm column, even though the Imperm was activated in hand. That's not how Imperm works. If you keep reading, it has to be, when this card was set while it was activated. So yeah, he's going to remember to play that and not that column. We're going to see him activate Descent, summon out a token, and then we're going to see him link off here with the token and the Insector link into Armorhorn. And we're going to see him activate Armorhorn here. And I would think, yeah, so we're going to see him go ahead and actually banish the Armorhorn with the Draco Berserker. It's not going to negate it, so he will still get off the additional normal. But he will lose the body that is Armorhorn that would help him link climb. He does have another Armorhorn engraved, so he still gets to keep the body regardless, I guess. It's just about what do you actually do from here at this point. So he's played through the Berserker Banish. He's played through a set Imperm, and the other unknown could possibly be something like Blackout, or it could be something like Chalice, or it could be potentially another Imperm. But we're going to see him link into the Seraphim. Papillon Seraphim, I believe, whatever it's called. It'll get the counters on it, so it is currently at 2,500. And then we're going to see Resonance Insect. Go ahead and search a level 5 or higher insect from the deck, and what better target to go ahead and search in this instance than the Kumungus, the Sticky String Kaiju. We're going to see Battle Phase go over the Tenyi Shaman with the Insector link, and then Kaiju over top of the Duke, or not the Duke, but the Berserker. And we'll see him pass on that. So the board was cracked. He really didn't put up too crazy of a board. But the board was cracked nonetheless, putting his opponent on top deck right now. And making it so any Tenyis he draw are dead. We're going to see him normal Mo Yi with no cards in hand. Very, very suspect here. And then we're going to see him activate the Insector, or not the Insector link, the Papillon Seraphim link, to go and attempt to revive the Resonance. And then we're going to see our Swordsoul player burn a Blackout here, which seems a little suspect as well, because that is just going to trigger the Resonance X to go ahead and search him a copy of the Sting Lancer. Now, I mean, I don't know why you particularly normal the Mo Yi there. I don't know what the end goal was. I could be wrong if my friend's watching this. I don't know. Maybe you can chime in. But yeah, it's going to basically go ahead and start getting a ton of free searches here off the Sting Lancer, off the Resonance Insect, all just because of that Blackout resolved. Spec out Pin, burn for another 200, and then, activate Formation, lose the life points equal to the monster that he's summoning, and, Scout Buggy is going to resolve, summoning another Scout Buggy from deck, and this is probably actually just going to be game here. He's just got to play through a Kumungus, which is basically just a token at this point. We're going to see him link into the Insector link yet again, and equip another Resonance Insect from the deck. Resonance Insect, so incredibly good for this deck. And one thing, I'm going to go on a little bit of a side tangent here. Why did Resonance Insect get a bump for a deck that is just as popular as, you know, Beetrooper, but Earth Machine, which is a deck that is arguably just as popular, maybe if not even more popular than Beetrooper, and their best card, Dozer, did not get a super rare reprint in OTS 17. It just, I don't get it. Like, I feel like they're both on the same tier level. Maybe Earth Machine's even a little better. I could be biased, of course, but like, where's the Super Dozer reprint? Come on. Anyways, we're going to see him keep going here. Spec out the Doom Dozer, summon Doom Dozer, banish the Goki Pole, not banish, dump the Goki Pole off the banished Resonance Insect, you know, go for the Killer Needle, pop the Kumungus, and that's going to be game outright. So yeah, Beetrooper's coming back and forcing a game 3 here. And yeah, let's see how this one plays out. I imagine our Swordsoul Duelist is going to go first, starting with the Ashina. Very, very good opening here, linking that into the Monk. And then we're going to see him spec out the Adara, activating Ashina effect here to go ahead and spec out a Tenyi from the deck. And we're going to see him summon out Vishuda. And we'll see what the play is going to be from here. It has a level 8 Synchro play. So maybe Chi here. Or Boxia. Yeah, we're going to see him go for Boxia. Boxia effect to go ahead and destroy the Shaman, to go ahead and reborn the Adara, going for the Chao Feng. And that's going to stop his opponent from using lights, because the only Yangzing monster that was used for its summon was a light monster. And then we're going to see him commit the normal summon to Tai, banishing Monk, summoning the token. And then this will establish the Chi here if he wants to go for it. We're going to see him use Adara first before he synchros to go ahead and bad back the Ashina for a little bit of follow-up there. And then we're going to see him go into the Starlight Chi. You got to love to see it. And we're going to go ahead and see him resolve these effects here. I imagine Tai 1 or Tai 2, Chi 1, or might not even be using Chi effect here. Yeah, we're just going to see him dump the Adara. And yeah, I think we'll see him use the Chi effect here. Yeah, so he will use the Chi effect to go ahead and search. And going to activate Long Yun, pitching the Ashina that we know he added back. Synchro 10, we go for Grand Duke. I feel like Grand Duke is really, really strong in this particular matchup because of how much Beetrooper banishes. And I think he was also locked into Worms at this point too, so I don't think he could technically go for Baron there. And one set, which if it's Blackout is really, really good with a Chao Fang, because he'll not only be able to get to pop 2, but off the Chao Fang effect, he'll be able to search any tuner monster from his deck. So that's Ash, Valor, all cards are going to make it very difficult for our Swordsoul or our Beetrooper player to go ahead and have to attempt to play through. And we're going to see Lightning Storm, and he's going to call monsters here. So now, no negates, no known negates on the board at this point. As the Lightning Storm clears the Chi-Jiao, we're going to see Descent activate here. Summoning a token. And then normal summoning that Resonance Insect of the field. Descent actually coming in kind of clutch as a nice little extender in this deck. Gotta love the Rubber Band token. And then we're going to see him go for Nightmare Phoenix. This is going to definitely force out whatever that back row is. And I hope it's not a Blackout, because that's going to be very, very rough to see. And it is a Blackout. Like, that's a really good board there. That's a really good board. Chi-Jiao with Chao Fang, Blackout, and Grand Duke. Such a solid board. But he will go ahead and get to search here off of the Resonance Insect, the copy of Sting Lancer. And he's probably debating on what he wants to actually Sting Lancer back. I'd probably say Vishuda's a pretty good card to hit back. Granted, he does have Ashina in Grave 2, which is also a pretty high value target. And he is going to put that back to the bottom of his opponent's deck. And then we're going to see him actually get to search on the summon of the Sting Lancer. He's going to go ahead and grab the formation. Then we're going to see him link off those two monsters, the Phoenix and the Sting Lancer, into the Papillon Seraphim. And formation is going to bring back Sting Lancer. It'll take 2,400 there from the formation. Then we're going to go ahead and see him link into the Armor Horn here. And he's going to be able to go ahead and get the additional normal summon off this late in the turn. Still has to worry about outing the Grand Duke, so he cannot really banish anything at the moment, but he does have the Sting the Poison to actually go ahead and take care of that, which is really, really solid. And we're going to see him take a little while to go ahead and figure out once he wants to search off of this Sting, he's going to go ahead and go for Twin Bow, which is basically just a free extender at this point. And he will use Sting's effect to go ahead and tribute off Armor Horn to go ahead and negate its effects. And then he can go ahead and, basically be free to banish here now to summon back the Armor Horn from the graveyard with its really solid effect by banishing 3. And by banishing Resonance Insect, he'll be able to trigger its effect to go ahead and send a Goki Pull, which is going to add and summon the Killer Needle to pop the Grand Duke. And then link here into the Inzektor Link, pitching a copy of Fly and Sting to be able just to keep going through this board here. And our opponent may have a response. He's got Nibiru, pretty good card to have here at this point. We'll have pretty decent stats thanks to, tributing off that Chow Fang, which has, I think, pretty decent attack stat. Also gaining the attack and defense from Sting, and from the Inzektor Link, and from the Armor Horn, which I think has only like 1,000 attack. So, pretty huge Nibiru token at this point. And we're going to see our Beetrooper player pass right there. I mean, it did crack most of the board with relative ease. And we're going to see our Swordsoul player draw for turn. Pass after putting the token defense. Our Beetrooper player is going to swing into the Nibiru with the token, and our Swordsoul player is going to pass again, and our Beetrooper player is going to swing in with the token, and our Swordsoul player is going to draw for turn and scoop as he does not have an out to the token, and Beetrooper's taking here 2-1 in another upset for the 3rd match in a row. Looks like you guys are incorrect yet again. If you guys want to see more of my content, click on one of the videos popping up on the bottom of the screen right now. And last but not least, a special shout out goes to our Divine Level channel members. And they are Cadillacs84, Ponystar, Keith Sitters, Tweeter0226, and Black Ninja Money. Thank you guys so much as always for your extremely generous support.